Hello, this is Happy Vanna Pokemon Podcast with your hosts Dan and Nick. We talk about everything Pokemon. And today we're going to talk about one of Nick's favorite decks.
Oh yeah, it's the Raichu deck.
This
Go ahead.
this deck is a great deck that he plays. He built it himself, so there's a lot to say about it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, first of all, to play, and it's not that expensive if you're just starting out.
But we are going to recap from last week about the Zacian starter deck, some additions that we think would be real helpful. Also, we're going to open another pack. And also, we're going to tell you who won the code from last week and what color the code was. So we're going to get started here with a little bit of information on what we thought about the Zacian deck from playing it all week. Now, I did quite a bit of work playing the Zacian starter deck. I added some Zacian Vs. Now, that's a pretty expensive card, the Zacian V, but it adds a lot to that starter deck, and it makes it very competitive. You pull out the regular Zacians and put some Zacian Vs in there. That makes that deck so much more competitive against any other type of deck.
Oh yeah, I'd add a few metal saucers too.
Yeah, metal saucers are good. Another thing that I added into that. I also added in that Galarian.
Is it the mine?
Galarian Mine, yes, correct. Because that
to power up the Probopass.
Correct, the Probopass. I powered him up to make him so anything that was doing had more retreat costs, the Probopass was doing more damage. So that's kind of some of the things that I did, and I did a lot of play with it, playing without the Zacian Vs against anybody online. It's kind of rough.
Oh yeah,
but it's still quite fun. A lot of fun stuff. Also, a lot of other cards you can add. Mellow, Lana and Mellow is another one you can add to heal your Zacian V up. It's not a standard card. It's in. It's in.
Are you talking about the set?
And the tag team, yeah, the tag team Mono Mellow Lana. It's in.
I'm not sure the set.
I think that's in Eclipse, Cosmic Eclipse.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So, but that's a good card to add in. And the Galarian Mine is in the newest set of Rebel Clash. There's also other cards like the Scoop Up Net.
Yeah, the Scoop Up Net and I'm blanking right now for some reason. But
Boss's Order is a good one to throw in there.
Boss's Orders.
Certain things like that. Some of the newer cards that came out in the newer set really help out.
Or the Pokemon Center Lady too.
Pokemon Center Lady to heal your guy up a little bit. So those are some of the things that we tried. Some of the things that we played. I play all the time online, so I'm always trying the deck out, trying to tweak it, trying to twist it and turn it to make it better for me and more fun. And then kind of give you guys information on what we do. So with that being said, we're going to get into our new pack of Rebel Clash, unless Nick has anything else to say about it.
No, that's about it. Alrighty.
While Nick is opening the pack, I am going to let you know who is our winner from last week's pack. And our winner from last week's pack, the guess, was Adrian. Now, Adrian didn't guess the right color, because the right color was fire, but he was our only guesser, so he's the winner. So, congratulations, Adrian. Adrian is also one of our technical support staff on our podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So it's great to have him aboard and helping us out. Thanks, Adrian.
Yeah, thanks, Adrian.
Okay, now here we go with the pack.
Alrighty, I'm guessing Psychic today.
Ooh, Psychic. I am going to guess Darkness.
Ooh. Oh. Alrighty, then.
Okay, so we are going to put that one aside and with the code card. And now we're going to move along through the cards.
Alrighty, we got a Pokeball, and we actually got this one last episode. But we'll do a quick recap. It's an item, and you flip a coin. If head, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck.
Good card.
Next, we got a Lampent. Now, it's stage 1 with 80 HP. It's a fire type, and it has the ability Top Entry, and it's once during your turn. If you drew this Pokemon from your deck at the beginning of your turn, and your bench isn't full, before you put it into your hand, you may put it onto your bench. Well, that's a pretty helpful ability if you're playing the evolution of Chandelure.
Right.
And then its attack for 1 fire.
Well, like you're saying, with the Chandelure, I think it's being played a lot with the Chandelure because he's also fire type, and he's doing a lot of damage now in standard rotation. So it's a very heavy played deck right now. A lot of people are getting plays out of Lampert and Chandelure. You pair it up with some draw support with
Welder. Yeah.
Welder, and you also use Mancargo to get some draw support.
Oh yeah.
So those are ones that'll help you out, get you some draw support.
Yeah.
And get your cards where you need them.
Yeah, and then its attack Reignite for 1 fire energy does 20 damage, and attach 1 fire energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon.
Cool. Sounds like a good one.
Yeah. Next we have Hawlucha, and he was actually in the Zacian starter deck.
Yep.
He has 90 HP. He's a colorless for 1 colorless energy windfall. Shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw 5 cards. Simple, which we already went over. And then for 1 colorless also, speed attack, 30 damage.
Yeah, good card to play.
Yep. Next we have the Galarian Yamask with 70 HP, and he's a fighting type. And his first attack is Reckless Charge for 2 colorless.
Well, now he only has 1 attack.
Yeah. 2 colorless, 50 damage, and it does 30 damage to itself.
Okay. And what is he weak to?
Grass, with a retreat cost of 2.
Grass, because he's fighting type. So.
Yes. Ooh, next we got a Surskit. 50 HP, grass type. He also only has 1 move for colorless energy. Is Agility, 10 damage, and flip a coin if heads during your opponent's next turn. Prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon. Well, that could be very annoying.
That'd be very annoying, especially at the beginning of a game.
Yeah.
And he looks like he could go in just about any deck as a colorless Pokemon. There shouldn't be much problem there.
Well, colorless attack cost.
Sorry, colorless energy, yes. That's what I was referring to.
He is weak to fire, and his retreat cost is 1 energy. Next, we have Stuffle. He has 80 HP. He's a basic. He's a colorless type. And his first attack is Tackle. For 1 colorless, he does 10 damage. And that's it. And then for 3 colorless is Jump On, and it does 40 damage plus. And then you flip a coin. If heads, it does 40 more damage. So that's also kind of a make or break thing right there, because it really depends on how much HP your opponent has left. If you're playing this Stuffle, and it's down to the wire, and they only have 80 HP left, you really gotta hope on that coin flip. Not a kind of way that I like to play, but I mean, if it happens, it happens, you know?
Right.
Alrighty. Next, we have... Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped his weakness and retreat cost. His weakness is fighting, and his retreat cost is 2 colorless. Next, we have Coughing. He's a darkness type with 70 HP. Just for 1 darkness energy, he does 10 damage, and his attack is Suffocating Gas. He's weak to fighting, and his retreat is 1.
Well, he sounds like a pretty good Pokemon.
I mean, he's pretty simple for... pretty basic Pokemon for Pokemon to make, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that... I mean, I don't know what the Wheezing does, the evolution. So I'd have to take a look at that to see how much he's really being played. Next is another basic Pokemon. He's another darkness type. He also has 70 HP, and it's an Impidimp. And for 1 darkness energy, his first attack is Beat. And he has 10 damage. Does 10 damage. And for darkness and a colorless energy, second attack is Stampede, and it does 20 damage. And so, I don't know what the names of these attacks, because Beat is pretty simple, but I don't know how one Pokemon could Stampede another Pokemon.
Right?
And he's fairly small too. He's 1'4", and he's 12.1 pounds. So if you tried to Stampede a Pokemon as like Golem, he'd just be jumping on him. But it still does 20 damage, which is odd to me.
Yeah, right?
He's weak to grass, and his retreat cost is 1 colorless.
1 colorless, not too bad.
Yeah. Next we have a Metapod. He's a stage 1, 80 HP, a grass type. And I think his ability is real tough. And this Pokemon can evolve during your first turn or the turn you play it. So, I mean, that can really help if you just throw him down, just turn 1, turn 1 Caterpie, you can evolve into the Metapod. And then turn 1 Metapod, you can evolve into the Butterfree. And then for 2 colorless energy, you can use Ram, which does 20 damage. And that's it.
That's it, huh?
Yeah.
So that's good, because I think the next one after you evolve, you get the next one has the next evolution.
The Butterfree?
The Butterfree, so you get to free evolve after that. So as long as you have them in your hand, there shouldn't be any problem.
Yeah, you should be able to get him right away. And his retreat is 3, with weakness to fire, because he's a grass type. That's just, I guess, how it works. I guess fire burns down grass.
Right? That makes sense.
And, alright, so next. Ooh, a Rainbow Rare Dragapult VMAX.
Wow.
Psychic type with 320 HP. It's a Dynamax Pokemon, evolves from Dragapult V. He's seeing some play, correct?
He is seeing some play.
He
has a pretty tough attack, from what I understand.
Yeah. His first attack is Shred for 1 Psychic Energy. It does 60 damage, and it's not affected by any effects from your opponent's active Pokemon.
Well, that's a pretty good card.
Yeah, and so his second attack for 2 Psychic Energy is Max Phantom. And it does 130, and you put 5 damage counters on your opponent's benched Pokemon in any way you like.
Not too bad at all.
Yeah, it's a fairly good spread card. It's a real nice rainbow art. I mean, I think it's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, I think it's...
And its weakness is darkness. Its resistance is fighting, and that's minus 30. I think it used to be minus 20. I'm not sure. And it's has a 1 colorless retreat cost, and it has the VMAX rule. And for all of you who are unfamiliar with the VMAX rule, it's when your Pokemon VMAX is knocked out, your opponent takes 3 prize cards. So when you're playing the VMAXs, you really got to be careful, because they can always only 2 knockout for VMAXs, and then you're done. You lose. Unless you played some kind of Ultra Beast. In that case, you could keep going. But it's very, very tricky. Because, well, it's rare. It's not tricky, it's rare to come across to play the VMAX and the Ultra Beasts. I don't see it very often. I don't know if you do.
Yeah, it's not getting played too much. The only Ultra Beast that really gets played is the Pheromosa and Buzzle. That's the only one that I see play.
Oh, yeah. And
The
that's
tag
a
team. So with that, you'd be taking 3 prize cards anyways with that Ultra Beast.
Yeah. And
So,
go ahead.
So it seems like we got a pretty good pack out of this one.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, onto the deck.
Onto the deck we go.
Okay, so the first card in the deck is...
Well, the name of the deck that Nick named the deck is...
Nuzzlespark.
So Nuzzle Spark is what he calls it. And here's the first card in the deck.
Yeah. So, it's Reshiram&Zekrom GX. And so, this card, it doesn't always see a lot of play when playing the deck. It's kind of used as a trump card at the end to kind of get you out of a tough spot. It has 270 HP. It is a tag team. And for those of you who are unaware with tag teams, when a tag team is knocked out, your opponent takes 3 prize cards. So, as I was saying, it's a make or break thing.
So we play 1 in this deck.
Yeah, and its first attack is Fabled Flare Bolts, which is really the only one that you use in the deck. It costs 1 fire and 1 electric energy. It does 90 damage, and it times the amount of energy, fire or electric energy, you discard from your Pokemon with a maximum of 3. So you can do up to 270 damage.
And it's some great looking art that they have on the Reshiram&Zekrom. You got a picture of Reshiram, and you got a picture of Zekrom, and in the middle you got the trainer N, which is it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's cool art, and there's a full art too that's really cool looking. This is one of the better looking cards that they put in the set. Now this set is from
Cosmic Eclipse.
Cosmic Eclipse. So there you go. It's still a pretty standard card. Seeing a lot of play, I think, right now. It is a dragon type card, so that's important to know because it's weak to fairy. Most dragons are weak to fairy, so if you run into a Sylveon Gardevoir deck, or if you run into a Grand Bull deck,
yeah, try not to play it.
Try not to bring it out. But this, like we said, this deck is probably on the little less expensive side when it comes to making your own deck and trying to make a deck that's competitive.
Yeah, and so this card, it may not seem like a best card to play, but as we go through the deck, we'll try to help explain, and you'll probably understand why it's like such a good trump card for the end of the game.
You're probably hoping not to get it in your beginning hand. Because you get it in your beginning hand, that means you got to play it.
Yeah, you don't want to have it first turn.
That you want to try to avoid. Okay, so that's all we really got to say. There is a GX move that is on the Reshiram&Zekrom. This deck in particular does not play that move, just because we don't have the energy in the deck to play it.
Yeah. So I'll read off the GX just in case you're curious about the card. So the attack does 170 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Oh, it costs 2 fire and 2 electric. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. And then, so it does. It's called Crossbreak GX, and it does 170 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. And if you played End's Resolve from your hand during this turn, this attack also does 170 damage to your opponent's other benched Pokemon. And you don't apply weakness and resistance for benched Pokemon. I think it could. I mean, the GX is pretty tough. It's
definitely a tough move. We don't play the End's Resolve in this deck, so therefore
there's no point.
Really. It's just doing 170 to a bench Pokemon for us if we had the energy available.
But we really don't.
We don't. We could put a rainbow energy in, but then we're doing damage to ourselves and taking a chance that we might not get it too.
Yeah.
But that rainbow energy wouldn't apply to some of the other stuff in our deck, so that doesn't really help us out. Because we'd have to remove another card and replace it with the rainbow energy.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, it'd slow down the deck.
So, like Nick is saying, this is a trump card. I've faced it before in the end scenarios where it's wiped out my game and I've lost.
Yeah, it comes through. It pulls through. It pulls its weight.
So it's just one of the things is if you get on the wrong side of it, is if it comes out and play at the beginning, that's where you have the troubles with it. You can't really get it off your bench, and then you just got to play it out.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can get something else in there to take care of business and get your gameplay. So we'll move on from this one. like Nick's saying, it's just a kind of a trump card at the end. Throw it down and really zap some final wins out of your game. Take your final prize cards, whatever you need, 1, 2, maybe even 3, depending on what you're attacking and how many cards you need to take.
Yeah.
So, with that said, we're going to move on to the next card.
Ooh, Dedenne.
This is a basic Dedenne, not a Dedenne JX, which is seeing a lot of play right now.
So it has a 70 HP, and it's an electric type, and so its first attack is Nuzzle, and flip a coin if heads your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed. Now, in this deck, you're going to be seeing that move a lot, because the deck depends on the move. And then its second attack for 1 electric energy is Nuzzle Shot, and this attack does 10 damage for each of your Pokemon in play that has Nuzzle. The Nuzzle attack to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So this is the only other attacker other than our main attacker and Reshiram&Zekrom.
And we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to the main attacker, and it's good because it could do just enough, which is 60 damage to knock out an Inkay or whatever other basic Pokemon that your opponent may be playing. And that's why I think it's tough, because it could, like, especially if they have a bad start, like with that Pokemon, like that's all they have on the bench and they're relying on it. If you get rid of it, it could really help your game.
Right, and then you have weakness. It's weak to fighting, and it's resistant to steel. It has a 1 retreat cost, which isn't too bad. You could have a skateboard or air balloon, or
I'm not sure if there's any abilities that lower your opponent's retreat cost. Right, so I'm not sure about that.
So I think those would be the things to go with. He is card number 702 and 10 of Pokemon. He is the height of
8 inches.
8 inches. And he's a weight of 4.9 pounds. It's kind of looks like a potato with ears and a tail, I would say.
He's just a Pikachu ripoff, really.
A Pikachu ripoff. Is that where we're going?
There's one in every generation.
One in every generation. Okay.
Except for the first one, because the first one is Pikachu.
Right.
Alright, I think we can move on to our next card.
Definitely, let's move on to the next card.
Which is Emolga.
Emolga.
Now this Pokemon really helps out the deck. It has 60 HP and it's electric. Its ability is Nuzzly Gathering, and once during your turn, before you attack, you may search your deck for a Pokemon that has the Nuzzle attack, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. As you probably guessed, this Pokemon also has Nuzzle, and it does the same thing, flip coin, if heads your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed. And so we run 4 of this Pokemon, and it really helps in setting up your deck, because you can just get the Emolga. You could just get all the Emolgas out when you need them.
Right, and you don't have to have him in your active to play this ability. You can play this ability on the bench, which is really a great thing, because then you're starting to produce a bench and make your deck ready to be played. Get ready to attack with whatever you're bringing out. Yeah. So the most I would say Emolgas you'd want on a bench is probably
3.
3? 3 is probably a good number.
Yeah.
That way, every turn you're pulling out 3 more Nuzzle Pokemon that have Nuzzle. So we would be able to pull the Dedenne out that we talked about already, because it has Nuzzle.
Yeah. Or you can just, if you want to thin your deck, you could get another, your last Emolga out to just hold if you want.
Right, and some of the other cards will be playable with the Emolga and some of the other abilities. So we'll get into more of that and talk more about what that'll do.
Yeah.
Now he's number 587. He's a Sky Squirrel Pokemon. I guess that makes sense. It looks like he has like little wings.
Yep.
He is a height of 1 foot 4 inches. He weighs 11 pounds.
Another Pikachu ripoff.
Another whopping 11 pounds.
And his weakness, oddly enough, is electric. He's resistant, oddly enough, to fighting, and his retreat is none.
Well, now one of the things I gotta bring up here is weakness, electric. He is a flying Pokemon. Most flying Pokemon are weak to electric.
Yeah.
You know, Articuno, Moltres, Zapdos. A lot of your flying Pokemon are weak to electric. So, as he is a Sky Squirrel with wings, you got to understand that weakness makes sense on that. So,
I think he could conduct electricity, but that's just me. If he could produce it, he could conduct it.
Right, it's a good possibility, but he's weak to it, so we got to go with it.
Yeah.
One of the advantages of Emolga also is if he's your starter, he has free retreat.
Yeah.
So you don't have to pay anything to retreat him. You just bring him back to the bench, and you can bring out whatever you need to bring out. So that is a very helpful perk for your Emolga. Starting with Emolga, that's probably one of the key things you want to do in this deck.
Yeah, for sure. It really helps your deck move along.
And that's why four Emolgas are played in this deck, so that you can get one of them, hopefully in your opening hand, to play on play starter or play on the bench.
Yeah.
If it's a starter, you're okay because you get the other Emolgas out and get another card out to have as your attacker, and then you don't have to worry. Then you'll have the Emolga on the bench because you got a free retreat. Yeah. So there's a lot of good in the Emolga. His downfall is maybe he's only 60 HP. Get wiped out easy.
Oh yeah.
And get hammered easy. That's the big downfall to him. Other than that,
he's super useful.
Another great card. A lot of people are playing him in electric decks. When you want to use Nuzzling Gathering, he's great to have.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to our next Pokemon, which is the Pachirisu. Has 70 HP, so electric. And so its first attack for 1 electric energy is Snuggly Generator. And for each of your benched Pokemon that has the Nuzzle attack, search your deck for an electric energy and attach it to that Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. This card is a game changer for this deck. It's the whole generator of the deck. We run 2 of them. 3. We run 3.
So now what you'd want to ideally start with is Pachirisu and an Emolga.
Yeah, because it fuels the whole main attacker's attack, and it also has Nuzzle, which really helps out.
So if you do just start with the Emolga, you can always pull out the Pachirisu because he has Nuzzle.
Yeah. And his retreat cost is 1, which is kind of a downfall. Because, if he's in there and he's using his attack, because he has to be inactive to use his attack, you got to discard an energy for the retreat, which might slow you down a little bit. He's weak to fighting and is resistant to steel.
Okay, and he's number 417. He's a L Squirrel Pokemon. He's a height of 1'4", weight of 8 pounds, 8.6 pounds.
What is an L Squirrel?
I would think like kind of electric squirrel.
Yeah,
kind of shortened L Squirrel.
Yeah, but
it's spelled E-L-E Squirrel. Okay, well that really says it all about the Pachirisu. He is in, what set is he in? I don't even know what set he's in.
That is Ultra Prism.
Ultra Prism he is in. So we will say Ultra Prism, and I don't have anything else to say about him. He's a white squirrely looking thing. Another ripoff of
Pikachu. Yeah,
so
that's a lot. That's pretty much all this deck is.
Yeah. So, but he's white. He has blue ears, a blue line down his back to his tail, and the rest of his body's white.
Yeah.
So.
Alrighty.
On to the next one.
Yeah. Next we have Pikachu.
Of course.
So the Pikachu that I run has 70 HP. It's obviously electric type. Obviously it has Nuzzle. Flip coin if you had your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed. And then its second attack doesn't see a lot of play. I don't really use any of Pikachu's attacks. But his second attack for 2 electric energy and a colorless is Volt Tackle, 70 damage, and it does 10 to itself. So not bad. It's a basic Pokemon, obviously. if this particular Pikachu, because I know there's more in Standard, is from Cosmic Eclipse. It's weak to fighting and resistant to steel.
Yes, and he's Pokemon number 25, mouse Pokemon. He's a height of 1 foot 4 inches, and he weighs 13.2 pounds. He's probably one of the most popular Pokemon, knowing that he's
the mascot.
Yeah, he's in the cartoon. He's Ash's Pokemon. In the Pokemon Detective movie, he's the main Pokemon. He's in every movie. He's in every show. He's the Pokemon of Pokemon. That's the thing about Pikachu. Definitely an all-star among all-stars. Probably one of the best Pokemon out there.
Yeah. He didn't make any of our top 10 lists, though.
Just because he's not our favorite doesn't mean he's not the ultimate Pokemon.
True.
Once again, he might be that in that overrated category.
Yeah.
But yeah. He's an awesome Pokemon. Definitely cool art on this one.
Yeah, we run 4 of them.
We're running 4 on this one. He's weak to fighting and resistant to steel, so that's good. He has 1 retreat cost. That's about all on Pikachu. Awesome. He's awesome looking. Everybody knows what Pikachu looks like. But if you need me to describe him, he's yellow, got a lightning bolt tail. He's kind of angry looking in this picture. He has red cheeks and black tips on his ears.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Yeah, that's how I describe him. So next we have our main attacker.
Before we get into the main attacker, one of the cards that we have in the deck that's really cool is we have a full art Pikachu from that set too.
Oh yeah.
And this full art one, it's the same thing as the other ones, but it's a holographic type of design, and it has Pikachu, and it has...
I'm guessing that's red?
It could be red, because they don't put Ash on there anymore, so... And they have a Pokeball on there. Really cool looking art. If you get a chance, take a look. If I could play a full playset of them in the deck, I would.
Yeah, you'll see it in the video.
Okay, so that's all I wanted to get to. Now we're going to get on to the main attacker, like Nick said.
Alrighty.
Here we go.
It's Raichu. Now, we run 4 of the Raichu, and it has 120 HP, obvious electric type. And luckily for us, it has Nuzzle. So, if we want to evolve our Pikachu, we can just get it out of our deck with the Emolga. And its second attack is, for 1 electric energy, is Powerful Spark, 20 damage. And it does 20 damage times the amount of electric energy attached to all of your Pokemon. Now, this attack can be extremely devastating, because if you're setting up with the Pachirisu, and you got electric energy on all your Pokemon, and you set it up as early as turn 2, you can be doing up to 120 damage on your second turn for 1 energy, which is crazy. And if you're attaching every turn...
That is crazy.
And if you're attaching every turn, it just adds up. And it doesn't really hurt you, like, if 1 gets knocked out, because your opponent only takes 1 prize card, so it's kind of tedious for them to knock out your Raichu. Its weakness is fighting, and it's resistant to steel. Its retreat is 2, so that might be a little bit of a downside. It's a stage 1. It evolves from Pikachu. And
it also has Nuzzle. So if you got your Emolgas out, you're pulling your Raichu right on your second turn with your Emolgas. So you have 3 Emolgas on the bench, you have your 2 Pikachus on the bench, and you have your Pachirisu on the active. Now, what you're doing your second turn is you're using your Emolgas to pull out your Raichus so that you can load them up and start attacking right away.
Yeah.
It's a real quick way of getting into the attack mode with the Raichu so that you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's super devastating. It's number 26. It's the mouse Pokemon as well. Its height is 2 foot 7 inches, and its weight is 66.1 pounds. He really bulked up from Pikachu, from the 13 pounds.
Now here's something I read online that was kind of interesting about the Raichu. They have a gender difference. The male Raichu have tips on their lightning bolts, while the females have flat ends on them. I didn't know that.
Which lightning bolts? Like the lightning bolts that they produce? Or their tail?
Lightning bolt tails.
Ah, because I know for the Pikachu, the female Pikachu has a heart-shaped tail, and the male has the more flat tail.
You see? Something that we tell our listeners. Give them a little bit of information about what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Now this is cool looking Raichu art. He is also from which set?
Cosmic Eclipse.
Another Cosmic Eclipse one. He is a rare though, so he's a little harder to come by.
Yeah, he's tricky.
So, you're looking, maybe if you're trying to build a deck, he might be one of the harder ones to find. If you go and purchase them, you're looking at
maybe $1.
$1 or $2 per card.
Yeah, we run 4 of them, so it's not that pricey.
Right, so it's gonna be easy to get a couple. Now, with like the other cards of the Dene, that would be that one would also be pretty easy to get. I believe that one though is
it's a common.
A common. The Emolga is a common. The Pachirisu is a common, and the Pikachu is obviously a common also. So they're all commons. So
except for the Reshiram&Zekrom, obviously.
Right, that would be a rare also.
Ultra rare, I believe.
Is it ultra rare?
I believe so.
Okay. So that's what you're looking at, trying to get those. That's basically all the Pokemon in the deck.
Except for, I think there's 2 more.
Okay, 2 more that are going to be coming up. Those are the main ones in the deck, because that's what you're going to be doing, is you're going to be playing your Emolgas.
Yeah, these cards are almost going to be played every time, except for maybe the Reshiram&Zekrom. The other 2 are kind of minor. I mean, they're expendable, they're just helpful, and I like to play them, personally.
Right, so the Zekrom, Reshiram, the Reshiram&Zekrom, that'll be wait to play at the end. The Dene, you probably won't need to play that right away, because if you get one of the Emolgas and the Pachirisu, you won't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
It'll be just quick gameplay. This deck will move very fast for you, and there's a lot of quick setup. Just gotta pound it out.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna move on to our next Pokemon,
which is Tapu Koko Prism.
Wow, I forgot about him. He's a good one to have in there.
Yeah, he's has 130 HP and electric type. So his ability is why we play him. It's Dance of the Ancients, and once during your turn before you attack, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may choose 2 of your benched Pokemon and attach an electric energy card from your discard pile to each of them. If you do, discard all cards from this Pokemon and put it in the Lost Zone. So I play it because if 2 of your Pokemon get knocked out, you could just bring back the energy, and then you're doing 40 more damage,
Same
which
amount
could
of
go
damage
a long
before,
way.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a great additional card. Support card, definitely. It's not an attacker. You're going to be playing it just to discard it, basically. You don't lose a prize card for playing its ability. It does go into the Lost Zone. It does say that if this is another card you don't want to start with. You want to try to avoid starting with Tapu Koko. He is not the best one to start with, but it does say that the Prism Star rule, you can't have more than 1 Prism Star card with the same name in your deck. So we can only play 1 Tapu Koko. If a Prism card would go to the discard pile, put it into the Lost Zone instead. So that's what we do. You put it into the Lost Zone no matter what.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the height or the card number for the Tapu Koko.
Probably because it's a Prism.
Probably because it's a Prism, right?
It's weak to fighting and resistant to steel with a retreat cost of 1.
Right, so not terribly bad with the retreat cost, because if he is your first Pokemon, you could always put the energy on him, retreat him. You know you're going to toss him out later on to get the energy back anyways, so it's not that big of a deal.
He might be trickier to get, though, because he is a rare. So pulling him might not be as easy as getting the Pikachu or the Raichu. But he is an extremely helpful card just for tight situations, or if you just want to secure the win in that case.
That'll help you out quite a bit in getting those extra cards back.
Yeah. So, next on the list, we have Marshadow. Now, this is the Marshadow with the ability to discard stadiums if you discard it. And I personally just like to play it because I don't run that many stadiums, and it's a fairly cheap card. It is a rare, but it's not played as much. It's a basic psychic type. It has 80 HP, and its ability, resetting hole. Once during your turn before you attack, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may discard any stadium card in play. If you do, discard this Pokemon and all cards attached to it. So, it's just kind of there to get out of the stadium in case it poses a major threat, or if it's just annoying you or helping out your opponent too much, such as, like, the mine or the Viridian Forest.
Or the... now I can't even think of the one. There's some kind of storm one, and I can't think of
it. The Chaotic Swell.
The Chaotic Swell, yes, which you can't put out another stadium. It'll discard your stadium and that one.
Yeah.
Then you can't play another stadium.
Yeah.
So this will help with stuff like that. We don't play... Oh, we do play stadiums in this deck. We'll get to that too.
Yeah.
So that'll help to preserve your stadiums in your deck so that you can play them to help you win the game.
Yeah. It does have an attack for one colorless. It does 10 damage. And then if your opponent's active Pokemon is an Ultra Beast, it does 60 more. You don't really use this Pokemon for its attacks. You just use it because to get rid of the stadiums, really.
Right. It's number 802. It's a Gloom Wheeler Pokemon.
Gloom Dweller.
Gloom Weller Pokemon. Height of 2 foot 4 inches. Weight of 48.9 pounds.
It's weak to darkness, resistant to fighting, and retreat of 1.
And it is a psychic Pokemon. So
yeah.
It is in
Celestial Storm.
Celestial Storm. Okay, there we go.
Is that Celestial Storm? I want to say it is.
I want to say it is too. All right, we're going to move on to the next Pokemon.
Not Pokemon, but
okay, we're all done with Pokemon now. We're going to move on to our trainers. Here's our list of trainers that we're going to go through on this.
All right, the first one we got is the Electropower. It's an item, and during your turn, your electric Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon before applying weakness and resistance. And so this is a one-time card. You play it, then you discard it.
Now we're playing this because we are playing all electric Pokemon.
Except for a psychic Pokemon that you don't attack with, and then a dragon Pokemon that's for endgame who really doesn't need it.
Right. So we're talking about doing 30 more damage with our Raichu when we're attacking. So you play the Electropower, and with to boost up your Raichu to another level to have an additional knockout of some of those bigger type of Pokemons, like some of your tag team Pokemon or some of your V's or VMAX Pokemon.
Yeah, and they add up the more you play.
Now we play 4 in this deck.
Yeah.
Because you need them all.
Yeah, they're very helpful.
And you want to try not to play them all at once unless you are trying to knock out a heavy hitter. And your opponent has a lot of energy stored up on that Pokemon. Yeah, knock out the Pokemon. Use all of them at once. Take out that big Pokemon so that they're kind of discouraged and just kind of you rot down their sails or knock them down because now they got to rebuild.
Yeah.
You're all ready to play because you got all the energy on your bench and you got your energy on your Pikachu. You're ready to go.
Yeah, and it's only attaching 1 per turn, so it's really easy set up because your Amogus typically don't get knocked out. They just kind of hold the energy while your Raichus get knocked out. You can attach the 1 because that's all it takes. So it's fairly easy for you to power them up. And with the Electropowers, it just does enough to a lot of the time to just tip go over that edge and just knock out the Pokemon.
It's a pretty neat looking picture. It's a capsule looking thing that's sucking up energy,
I think
electric
it's a
energy.
Syringe, I would say.
Okay. I go with capsule. You can go with
Capsule.
syringe if you want. Yeah, I go with a capsule.
All right.
Sucking up, and it has a lightning bolt in the center of it. It's pretty neat looking.
Yeah.
So it is an uncommon, so it might be a little harder to come by, but it's not going to be terribly hard to come by because it is an uncommon. It's not a rare. It's not a anything other than just an uncommon. Now you might have a full art or a reverse hollow. Those will be a little hard to come by, but a basic Electropower should be fairly easy.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap too.
Yeah, not an expensive card at all.
They're in Lost Thunder.
Lost Thunder it is. So we'll move along to the next trainer.
Yep. Ooh, the energy switch.
Energy switch.
And so it's pretty simple. Move a basic energy card attached to one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon. So this card is really only played for the Reshiram&Zekrom, and it's because if you want to set them up in one turn, you can attach the electric energy card, attach the fire energy, play your energy switch to get that electric energy on for. So he's all set up in
Bam,
one
you're doing
turn.
magic damage.
Yeah.
Fast.
And it may be tricky to get the fire energy and the energy switch in your hand. But there's another card for that we'll get to later.
This card in particular is in so many editions. It's just it's been played throughout the whole time with Pokemon. They've always had energy switch, so this is so common that you should be able to pick it up for a penny or less at any store. They're not in high demand, and there's so many out there in every store you go to get Pokemon cards. You should be able to pick it up in a pack. Easy. It's not a very uncommon card. It is uncommon. It is one of the uncommon cards, but with that being said, it's not hard to get. You should be able to go to a store and pick it up if you need to. That sell Pokemon individual cards, so it should be easy to get.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we're going to move on to our next card.
Pokégear 3.0. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Going back real quick, we only play one of the energy switches. All I really need to
Right, that's
say.
all that's needed for that deck.
Alrighty, so the Pokégear 3.0, and it lets you look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal a supporter card you find there, put it into your hand, then shuffle the other cards back into your deck. Now this card, it's played a lot. It sees a lot of play, but it's a good card. Is why, really. I mean, it was recently reprinted in Sword and Shield, and it's not going out anytime soon, and it's there to help you get any supporter you may need to help you dig through your deck, which we'll get to some of the supporters later.
And this is a card that's been around for a while too.
Oh yeah.
You can play any number of item cards you want during a turn. So this card you could have 4 of them, play all 4 of them if you want in one turn. Don't recommend it.
Yeah.
How many do we play in this deck? 3?
I want to say 3. Yep, 3.
Okay. So, like we said, this card goes back quite a bit too. It is probably a little harder to come by.
Yeah, it's the supply and there's higher demand for it. It might be a little pricier if you're going to buy it. It might be more like 50 cents to $1 range.
Right. It could, so but it shouldn't be hard to find. People have them. There'll be a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
So it'll be easy to find for you. So with that being said, we're going to move on to the next one. And our next card is
the Pokémon Catcher. So what it does is flip a coin. If heads, switch your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. Now you can also play the Great Catcher, which lets you discard 2 cards and switch out your opponent's active Pokemon with GX Pokemon or EX Pokemon. But those aren't seeing as much play, so I switched it out for this, and it works slightly worse, but it still gets the job done a fair amount of the time.
The big drawback on this one is you got to flip a coin.
Yeah.
There's a chance that it could do nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's why I only play 1.
So you could be playing and you could flip the coin and get nothing.
Yeah.
So you flip the coin, nothing. That's it. That's the end of that whole card. You're all done. So you gotta just move on to your next play after that. Also, you can play any number of these, but like Nick said, we only play 1 in this deck, so you get 1 shot at it. This could be make or break for you too. Let's say you're at the end of the game, you got 2 prize cards to take. You can knock out a GX or a V card that's on their bench. You want to flip that coin and hope that you can bring in their VMAX or their weaker Pokemon so they can knock it out to win the game.
Yeah.
It's definitely a game-winning type of card, but you got to hope for that coin flip, because there's also the chance that you don't get the coin flip, your opponent takes you out that next round. You know you're going to go. It's all about a coin flip that can win a game. I've been in that situation with Nick where we've played that,
Yeah.
and he's lost the coin flip, he's won the coin flip, he's won the game, he's lost the game. So, it just happens.
I should get around to replacing it with boss's orders.
Yep, boss's orders. So that's always a good one to replace it with.
Yeah. So, ready to move on?
We're going to move on.
Alrighty, so the next card we have is the Pokémon Communication. And what it does is reveal Pokemon in your hand and put it on top of your deck. If you do, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterward. Now, this really helps you because if you need the Reshiram&Zekrom, or if you need the Tapu Koko or the Marshadow, you can always switch out a Pokemon that you can get out of your deck with the Emolga, that has Nuzzle that you don't need at the time.
Nuzzle gathering.
Yeah. So that's why it's really quite helpful.
Yeah, so you use the ability with the Emolga to bring out, you grab another Pikachu that you're not going to put on the bench because you can't, or you know you're gonna need the Reshiram, or you need something else, so that way you can just switch it out.
Yeah. So it's in Team Up, I believe that is.
Yep.
And we play 4 of them.
Okay. It's a great card to have. The real confusing thing about it is that, so you take the card and you put it on top of your deck, but then you shuffle afterwards. Why can't you just take the card out, then just shuffle your deck?
Oh, yeah.
It's just kind of confusing. It's a confusing wordplay that they do, that the Pokemon Company does. I'm not big into the way it's worded. I wish they would just say, take out a Pokemon, show your opponent the Pokemon, search your deck for another Pokemon, then shuffle that Pokemon back into your deck.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be on the top? I don't really get that. It's just silly to me. So, but it's a great card to have. A lot of decks play them to pull out cards. That's something that could also go into the Zacian deck to help you pull out cards that you need.
Yeah.
That Zacian starter deck that we talked about last week, the Pokemon Communication would be great help to that. So it'll start moving your deck faster. This is something that'll help you move your deck faster. Yeah, like let's say that you're playing and you've already lost 2 Pokemon with energy. Like Nick said, you can pull this card, pull out the Tapu Koko, get that energy back onto your bench, and start doing more damage and start knocking more Pokemon out.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways that this could play out. Also, it's like Nick said at the end of the game, bringing that Reshiram&Zekrom, win the game.
Yeah.
So this is definitely a game changer type card too. Definitely a great card to play. Definitely a great card to have in almost any deck that you play.
Yeah.
So here we go on to the next one.
The reset stamp. And what is another item, and what it does is your opponent shuffles their hand into their deck and draws a card for each of their remaining prize cards. So if I play this, because like if you're in a tough spot, you could get this card. You gotta hope to have this card at least. There's ways to get it in the deck. We'll get to that when we get to that. And if you're losing, it really helps you get your opponent down on cards, because if they only have 1 prize card left, they're only going to draw 1 card, and that could really slow them down. It could be a game changer.
Right, like Nick said, definitely a game changer at the end of the game. You know that they have cards that they've been stacking up so that they can win the game on you, and you reset stamp them for 1 card or 2 cards. They're probably not going to have what they need to get back into the game where they need to be.
Yeah.
They could get a lucky draw, but
yeah,
most likely they're not going to. So this is a great game changer on most parts. I like to play the reset stamp. If I get it in my first play, I like to play it right at the beginning, because a lot of people really have that beginning scenario with their hand. They're looking at their hand while you're playing, they're looking at their hand and thinking like, okay, I can do this, I can do that. I like to throw that reset stamp out right away and reset them and throw their whole game off right at the beginning and just throw them for a loop. Especially if they've taken quite a few mulligans from me, because let's say I didn't draw any Pokemon, so you got to take them. They take 3 or 4 mulligans. Man, I want to throw that reset stamp right down.
Oh yeah.
Get rid of those cards.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or they're holding evolutions for next turn. Like they've used evolution essence, or a card to get them an evolution out, but they're holding it in their hand. You want to reset stamp them so they don't have that in their hand anymore.
Yeah.
So it's a fun little player. One of the things about the reset stamp, you can't play it in expanded. It's banned and expanded. So all we can play right now is in standard format.
Which is all I really play, so I'm good with that.
Right? It works for both of us. So
yeah.
That's all we play. So I think we only play one reset stamp in that.
Yeah, we only play one.
Okay.
So the next card we play is the Shrine of Punishment. This is a stadium, and it's just it's a continuous card, basically, is all it is. And between turns, you put 1 damage counter on your opponent's on each Pokemon GX and Pokemon EX. This card is in pretty high demand now because all the V Pokemon are coming out, and it doesn't affect them. So it just really helps out all those V decks playing against the GX decks.
Right, the tag team cards.
Yeah.
And the other GXs that are out there that are still being played. Now the issue is once we start losing more and more GXs during rotation, the Shrine of Punishment won't be as effective. So we will have to find something to replace that at some point.
Yeah, it's probably pretty pricey to buy right now. I mean, I don't know how much it'd be with all that's going on in the world.
Right.
But
I know it was up there in a couple dollars for that one.
Yeah.
It's in Celestial Storm, so if you've pulled cards from Celestial Storms, it's a good one to pull out of there and take a look to see if you got it. So, great card. So you're doing damage every turn to your opponent. When it's your turn, you do 10 damage to their GXs. When it's their turn, does 10 damage. Every time it switches back and forth, just like a poison counter, a burn counter, poison or burn.
Yeah, that's about it.
Those are only 2 that also do damage. So that's what it's like. It's like having a counter, but it does it to everything. Yeah. All the GXs, all the EXs.
It's an
bench, non-bench.
Uncommon.
It's an uncommon. So most trainers are uncommon.
Yeah.
There's a few that are rare, but the majority of them are uncommon.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we're going to move on to our next card, the next trainer. So, but that is a stadium card.
Ooh, so now we're into the supporters. So first, our first supporter we have is Bill's Analysis, and what it does is look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal up to 2 trainer cards you find there and put them into your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. Now this card, it really helps on getting your Electropowers if you need them. It helps you to get your Reset Stamp if you need it. It helps. It really helps with any trainer cards that you need because we don't run any shuffle-in supporters or like Magnolias or Cynthias or Marnies or any of that in this deck because we don't really need it. This deck is really get what you want when you need it, or get what you need when you need it, pretty much. And that's why the Bill's Analysis helps out, because if you need the Electropowers to do the extra damage, there's a pretty high chance you're going to get it if you're thinning every turn with your Nuzzly Gathering.
Right, and you're pulling out all your Pokemon, so with your Nuzzle Gathering, you're pulling out your Pokemon, so all you are leaving in the deck is trainers and energies. Hopefully by the time you get to the point where you're playing your Bill's Analysis, you got a lot of your energy out too, because you used your Snuggly generator, which is putting energy on there. So with all that in play, you're gonna be just pulling trainers.
Yeah.
You pull seven cards off the top of your deck. You gotta hope that at least 3 of them are trainers that you can use and play. Maybe a supporter and a
you
trainer.
Only get 2 out of the deck.
Maybe a trainer and a support and an item, or a trainer and a stadium, or just 2 items. It just depends. I mean, it could be any number of things, but out of 7 cards, you would hope that at least 3 of them are going to be able to choose from.
Yeah.
2 out of the 3. Good odds on that, because like we've said throughout this whole podcast, that we have been just pulling cards out of the deck the whole time.
Yeah, whatever you need, it's there.
Right. So that'll take us to our next card.
Yeah, which is good old... Oh, wait, I gotta say, we run 3 of the Bill's Analysis in the deck.
Oh, right, and Bill's Analysis is a rare card, too. He's not a...
He's a rare?
He is a rare, yes. He's not an uncommon.
Oh, yeah?
He's a rare.
So he's going to be trickier to find.
Right, so he's going to be a little harder to get. So, with that in mind, we are going to move along to our next Pokemon, or next trainer.
Which is Rosa. Now, Rosa, she is very, very helpful with Reshiram&Zekrom, and I'll explain why. So she's a supporter, and you can only play this card if your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Then it lets you search your deck for a Pokemon, a trainer card, and a basic energy card. Reveal them and put them into your hand. Then you shuffle your deck. So this is really helpful because it lets you get out your Fire Energy, your Energy Switch, and your Reshiram&Zekrom. And you could just set it all up in the one turn with playing your one supporter, which is Rosa, which really helps you out. This is also a rare.
Right.
And so the only downside is your Pokemon has to be knocked out during your last turn, but the Raichus get knocked out pretty frequently because they only have 120 HP. So
which is fine because you're expecting them to get knocked out.
Yeah.
So with them being knocked out, you're going to be able to play that easier.
Yeah. It really just it's good to have if you're in a tight spot, and
it's a game changer. It's the end of the game. You could definitely win the game at that point.
Yeah, and it really just lets you get whatever you want. Well, within some parameters.
Well, what we're saying is you get one trainer, one energy card, and one Pokemon. And when it says Pokemon, it doesn't matter as long as it's a Pokemon.
Yeah.
You get a basic energy. That's one of the reasons. That's another thing we talked about earlier. We talked about that rainbow energy. So you wouldn't be able to get your rainbow energy with the Rosa. So that doesn't really help us. And also with Raichu's attack, that rainbow energy doesn't help us either. So all that in account, the rainbow energy doesn't play out well.
Yeah, but this Rosa really helps the deck.
Right? It's your one supporter per turn. It's a great card to have.
Yeah, it really just helps you set up the Reshiram&Zekrom.
Now, this card might be a little pricier, a little harder to get.
Oh, yeah.
Probably $4 or $5 card. So this might be one of the higher ones in the deck.
Yeah, along with the Shrine.
Right? So, move along.
Alright, next we have Volkner. Now, Volkner, what he does is...
sorry, real quick. Rosa is in Cosmic Eclipse also.
Oh, yeah, and we run 2 of them.
Two of them.
In case we didn't say that. So Volkner is also a supporter. He lets you search your deck for an item card, an electric energy card, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So, a lot of times when I play this deck, I find myself I don't have any electric energies in my hand. So this really helps you to get the energies out, and then it also helps you get those electro powers, and it helps you get pull out just whatever you need, not having the risk of shuffling your hand or drawing 6 or drawing 5 or whatever. A lot of the hand support cards do.
Right, and Volkner has always seen play just because he's always been out there being played. I mean, you're talking about a card that can pull an item and an energy. Now you can still play him in a deck without getting the energy. You don't have to get the energy, but you can get the item. Or you don't have to get the item if you don't have one, so you can just get the energy. It can go either way. It's a great card to have in almost any deck, really, if you want to just pull items. But he is a supporter. It's your only supporter you can play. There's other cards that you can play to just pull supporters too, though. So he might not be necessary in a lot of decks anymore. He's more necessary in an electric type deck, so you can play him, get the energies out. You always want to try to play energy every turn when you're playing this Raichu deck, just because the more energies you have out, the more damage you're doing.
Yeah, super useful.
super card to play. He's in Ultra Prism.
Ultra Prism, yep.
Yep, so he's a good card.
We run 4 of him.
4 of them?
And he is an uncommon.
He is an uncommon, yes.
Next up, we have the U-turn board. Now, the U-turn board is the only tool that we have, and the retreat cost of the Pokemon this is attached to is 1 colorless less, and if this card is discarded from play, put it in your hand instead of the discard pile. So, a lot of the time, when I play, I try to get this on the Pachirisu so I don't need to discard that energy to retreat, and if he is brought in or knocked out somehow, I get the card back to my hand so I can attach it to a Raichu in case I need to retreat him, and it's really helpful because a lot of my Pokemon are knocked out pretty quick in this deck, and so it just lets you, it goes back to your hand, so it lets you retreat like pretty much the whole time, although I don't use it as much as I think I would, but it's still nice to have. It's a nice backup.
It's great to have when you start the game too. If you start with the Pachirisu, or if you start with something that you need to retreat, if you start with a Pikachu that you need to retreat so you can bring in something else and not lose your Pikachu the first round, the U-turn board might be good to have out there.
Yeah, it's nice to get with the Volkner.
Right, so then you're putting the energy on the Pachirisu, you're putting the U-turn board on the Pachirisu, then you can retreat them for free.
Yeah, which I think just really helps with the extra energy.
Right, you have that extra energy and not losing the energy to discard to retreat them. So it's a great card. It's in... Oh, what set is that? That would be...
Not Team Up, is it?
Not Team Up.
It's the one after Team Up,
it's
right?
It's the one after Team Up, and I can't think of it. But it's a great card. So, with that being said, we're going to move along. All we got left after that is our energy. We play 1 fire and 15 electric.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And the reason we play the 1 fire is because we need it for our Reshiram&Zekrom, because he needs 1 fire, and then electric, because, well, we're playing an electric deck. All kinds of electric Pokemon, all kinds of electric, all kinds of electric. We need a lot of electric energies for this deck.
Yeah, it's, 15 is a good number, because that's doing up to 300 damage. And, that's all.
That's about all we really have. We're going to be giving away that code prize again. Like we said, Adrian was our winner last week.
Yeah.
Guess again. Have fun guessing. We were wrong last week because I guessed water last week.
I guessed grass and it ended up being fire, right?
It ended up being fire. So this week I guessed darkness.
And I guessed psychic.
So we'll see who wins this week.
Yeah. So
hopefully it's Adrian again. He's doing a great job out there.
Yeah. So our Twitter is HappyVana2020, right?
Yes, Twitter is HappyVana2020, and we are on SoundCloud and on YouTube. Please check us out on both. Subscribe to YouTube, our YouTube channel.
Follow us on SoundCloud.
And post your comment on what. Oh yeah, I guess whatever you think it is, really. Okay, so this is Dan. I'm done for today.
And this is Nick, and this was Happy Vanas Pokemon.
Bye.